Hey guys, Video Sec here, and this will be the last video of today. I'm not sure when I'll be making another video, but this is just how it is. So I'll just try to get right to this comment here and just kind of go from there. And I'll just bring it out. Give me a moment. Okay, come on. Just load up. Okay. So this is about kind of my video on when I was talking about what type of mineral oil to use for your TPE doll. And this comment states, I clicked on this because I wanted to know what brand of mineral oil to use. Sorry if I sound like such a dick, but why can't any of you just give me a straight answer? Question mark. I effed up with my first doll. Her vagina got cracked and micro tears. I would really love to prevent that with my next one. I only had her for 8 months. Now, I won't say that this is, I'm not even sure if I would call this a mineral oil problem. The possibility with this guy is that he probably was just maybe a bit too rough with his love doll in that area, so to speak. Or maybe he did it maybe just in an awkward position that made it so that it kind of got those, scrapes, etc. in that area. So I'm not really sure if I would call this a mineral oil problem, but that's just a thought. Not to say that using the right kind of mineral oil could help with this issue, but I'm just not really sure if that's actually what the issue is. So going on from there. So I give him his answer. I said, just watch the video and be patient is my answer back to that. Oh my God, there's just so many times when they will only watch like 2 minutes of my video and then just stop watching and just put down a comment. And you have to do it every month and a half. Otherwise, the surface can dry and crack out from the mineral oil drying out and I would say evaporating. Is that the liquid in the mineral oil evaporates and you just kind of have to keep on doing that every month or so, maybe 2 months. You can maybe possibly push to 3 months if you don't use it a lot, but that's just saying. And he states back to me, I did, man, and my problem is that I'll go to the forums and people will say the same thing. It doesn't matter as long as it has this or that, but everyone will say, don't use this and that. You see how that gets confusing, right? You know what, man, I apologize for being snappy. It's just that when you get a straight answer and have previously asked these same questions, it gets annoying. I was told to avoid the ones that have fragrance and ended up buying that. It said mineral oil on the bottle. I apologize for the other thing I said as well. You don't deserve anyone being an asshole to you, and I should have just relaxed, which is okay. But, the thing is, sometimes you also just got to try something too, is the thing. He's at least trying to do his research, which is a good thing, but one thing that he's doing, I would say kind of wrong, is that he's only going to forums. When I do my research, just in general, the first thing that I typically will try to do before going to forums is going to just the sources. Just try to go to the sources first, whether it's a store that you bought it from. That's if they actually have a love doll care section, which if they don't, I actually wouldn't even recommend buying from that store. And there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of crappy love doll sites out there. So I just don't really recommend buying from them unless you just want them for your product most of the time, or pretty much every time, really. But I kind of gave him his answer here. It's okay, but the reason to not get one with a fragrance is because the material will absorb the smell and then later smell bad. You can use baby oil, which I stated in the video, or you can use straight mineral oil from a pharmacy that doesn't have as much smell. You put a glaze of it on each month and a half, not too much, and let it sit for a few hours to let it absorb and rinse off with water. Then use, the powder. The powder is so dirt doesn't stick to it easily, but also dries the surface some. The reason why it's so confusing is because people trying are all these people out there are trying all of this weird shit. Now, I get some people are allergic to some things, like maybe certain types of lube, so they have to know if the one they use works with this material, like TPE. But but sometimes people just need to stick to standards and keep it less complicated. And and just stick to standards. And I always, of course, have these people, they ask me shit like, oh, can I use something like Vaseline? And it's like, oh, I mean, technically, but using Vaseline won't hurt you. But the thing is that Vaseline is water resistant. So if you try to clean out the Vaseline that you put into the inserts of the Love Doll, it's going to be very, very tough to clean out. And most likely you aren't going to be able to get all of it out. And that's just going to track more dirt. And then it's going to get moldy, or it's just going to get really crappy in there to the point where you're just going to have to replace the insert altogether, or even the Love Doll if you didn't get a separate insert for it, which is just going to suck even more. So because paying for a new insert can cost anywhere from like $50 to $150, maybe $200. But then let's say you fuck it up and it's not an insert, it's built in. Well, that means you're basically just going to have to replace the whole doll just to get it out. I mean, that's just the thing with these Love Dolls. It's a thing. That's the thing. That's the thing. I said thing a lot, I know. But yeah, just, try to stick with standards. Go to the actual sources first is the thing. And then if there's maybe a few questions that you have after that, then maybe go to the forums. But I'm just going to let you know, if you go to the forums, you lots of times aren't going to get a straight answer, and you're going to get kind of confused. But, the thing is, eventually you're just going to have to start trying things like I had to, because there isn't really information for all this out there. You just eventually have to try something. Because the only problem with knowledge is that if you try to use knowledge too much just by itself, it gets really confusing. And, so what you have to do is that you just have to get some experience and, carrying it for this stuff. You're going to have to try stuff. You're going to probably make a few mistakes along the way. But that's just kind of how it is with most things, really. Is sometimes you just gotta try something. You gotta get experienced in it. Just like I got experienced in it. I made a few mistakes. I of course showcased them on here. Like at one point, one of my mistakes was that since I of course didn't have any small T-shirts for my Love Doll, my TP doll at the time, I got a small shirt, in small size. It was a black T-shirt. I forget what design it had on it, but so I put it on her. I had it on her for, I don't know what, half the day or something like that. And then I was looking at the book, and it's like, do not put T-shirts on them and blah, blah. I was like, oh, fuck. And then I took her T-shirt off, and her whole back that was laid up against the couch was like all black in areas. And I just, and I had to rub it all out with, the solution that I had in the kit that I got. And oh my God. And I almost used it all up just on her back. I managed to get most of it out, if not 99% of it. But my God, that was just looking at that back at that. What it was kind of funny, but it's too bad because that solution that I had to put on her back to dig out the ink from the T-shirt, it's not very cheap. It was like at least $25 to $50 a thing of it or whatever. I forget how much it was, but it's not cheap. But I learned that all I really needed to do was just wash the T-shirts. Just put it through the washer at least once, maybe twice at best, and dry it. And then I would maybe be able to put the T-shirt on her. But even then, it's probably just to leave any colored things, any colored fabric off of her. Really, it's just kind of better to just keep it off. Really. But if you are going to do it, at least wash it before you put it on them. But of course, with that being said, I'll just end this video. Of course, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to put the answers, questions, or whatever down below. And or you just ask me about my sex life. No, just kidding. Don't ask that. But I'll see you guys later. Bye.